Right, really welcome back to the latest Manchester United news. Now, in this video, we'll be talking about the latest on Victor Gyokeres. There's been another huge update. We'll be talking about Embuemo as well as Rasmus Hojlund potentially going to Italy and the latest developing stories on that. But we want to get in straight to talking about the Victor Gyokeres situation. Now, it's coming in from Record Portugal, who are very reliable. They were the first to break that Victor Gyokeres was a priority to Arsenal. Now, they've come out in the last hour or so suggesting that Arsenal have frozen their pursuit of Victor Gyokeres. They've had enough, and feel Sporting's price tag of £65 million is too high. They have removed, Arsenal have now removed their Gyokeres from their priority list, as Sporting are asking for €80 million, which is too much for them. So again, listen, absolutely huge news again. Would Gyokeres to Arsenal be potentially off? I think that's something that you definitely have to look at this point now. He has not outright rejected United Victor Gyokeres. He has just emphasised his Arsenal is his current priority. Listen, it's looking like the Victor Gyokeres story is going to go on for a long time. That's what it's looking like at this current moment. I think with Gyokeres, his future is still uncertain. We just know that he is likely going to leave Sporting. Where he ends up is looking like it's between Arsenal and United at the moment. Obviously, Arsenal are in for Sesko at the moment. They do not want to pay this sort of money for Gyokeres, so that's probably why they will not go in for him anymore. So that leaves the race open for Manchester United to go in. Now again, listen, the story keeps changing and we're not really going to get a decisive thing until you probably get that "here we go." But it's looking confident at the moment. He is given priority to Arsenal, but Arsenal have now withdrawn from the negotiations to sign their Swedish striker. So listen, the race is open. In terms of Ottoman, we have some interesting news coming in from Florian Plettenberg, suggesting that Galatasaray remain optimistic about securing the permanent signing of Victor Osimhen, despite top English clubs having re-entered the race over the past 3 to 4 days. Galatasaray are offering a net salary of 15 to 20 million euros. The biggest issue remains the payment structure. For the €75 million release clause, Napoli want as few instalments as possible. So it's looking like Osimhen will be going to Galatasaray at this current moment. So listen, we are losing the amount of strikers that are on the market. I think that's probably why United are probably more focused on a striker now than we are going to sign an Embuemo, for example. I think a striker is a huge priority and we can't afford to miss out on one. Obviously, Ekitike has been someone who's been heavily linked to Manchester United, but we don't know what's going to happen with him, so we'll have to wait and see what does develop on the striker situation for Manchester United. I think if you look at the outcome, I'm hoping it's Gyokeres. If not, Osimhen will be alright. I think he's still a viable candidate. As I said, you're looking in the region of £60 million to £90 million for Gyokeres, and similar, well, €75 million release clause for him. Osimhen as well, obviously the gentleman's agreement between Sporting. We'll see what develops with that as well. But that's the latest on the Osimhen and Gyokeres situation. Rasmus Hojlund is coming in from Gazzetta Italia Core Sport as well, suggesting that Inter are now accelerating for Rasmus Hojlund. Hojlund has given his yes to Inter. It's time for Inter to negotiate with Manchester United. Inter is pushing a loan with the option to buy, while United would prefer a permanent chance of around €45 million. Also on the table is that idea of postponing the purchase to 2026 at almost certain conditions, perhaps in exchange for a more expensive loan deal to be paid immediately. Listen, for me on this situation, I would love United to sell. It's not that I hate the player, I just don't think he's good enough, and I think it'd be perfect for United to sell Rasmus Hojlund. I mean, €45 million is around £40 million, and I think that's what Rasmus Hojlund is worth. I think you look at United, we have to get in a striker. Like the amount of goals we struggled to score last season because we didn't have a clinical striker has massively affected us, and now we have to go and get a clinical striker. Yes, we signed Hojlund and signed Xerxes, but they're two relatively inexperienced players, young players with still a lot to learn in the game. So for me, I'd be all over signing or getting rid of Hojlund if that means we can bring in someone like Osimhen or Gyokeres to facilitate the role. I think we know Hojlund wants to fight and play for United, but the fact that he's given his yes to Inter Milan would suggest that he is open to a move, which is perfect. Again, it probably will be a loan deal. I don't think United will get the exit over the line with a permanent sale, but we'll have to wait and see what does happen with that situation. But do I think it will be a permanent deal? I don't think it will be. I think he's a player who again struggled for confidence, but the fact that Inter, and it's looking like most of the clubs in the Serie A, or the top clubs in Serie A, are interested in signing him, would massively help Manchester United at this current moment to get a striker. But that's the update on the striker situation. Gyokeres has said, well, not said no, but Arsenal are not willing to pay that sort of money for Victor Gyokeres. Hojlund looking like he's going to Galatasaray. Hojlund says yes to Inter. So we now have to wait what developed on the striker story, and we will give you any breaking news that does happen. It's going to be a busy transfer window. United already got Cunha in. We're still developing on Mbeumo, but let's see what happens with the Inter coming in for Rasmus Hojlund. I think he will end up going there, and yeah, let's see what happens. But at the moment, Gyokeres, that's the latest story. Gyokeres says no to Arsenal. Well, not says no, but preferred option. They're just not willing to pay that sort of money for him. So yeah, let's see what happens. Trying to see if there's anything else. Nope, that's it. Thanks for watching.